What is Homeworld Emergence? Technically, it is a re-release of the game Homeworld Cataclysm, originally released in the year 2000 for PC, but for legal trademark reasons, it has been renamed and released last year on GOG.com as Homeworld Emergence. And this video is a Space Wingman review of it. So, what do I mean with that? Homeworld Emergence is technically a re-release of Homeworld Cataclysm. Well, that is exactly that. Homeworld Emergence is exactly a re-release. It is not a remastered, updated or HD version of Homeworld Cataclysm. Even the game version is the same like the version on the physical copy sold in the year 2000. Homeworld Emergence, or for simplicity I will call it from here on Homeworld Cataclysm, because it is exactly the same game, is a standalone 3D space real-time strategy game with a single-player campaign for PC, like the first Homeworld game of the Homeworld franchise. The 3D RTS aspect is the main focus of this game. You control various unit types ranging from a simple space fighter to a small space destroyer on a three-dimensional map on which you can move all units in all directions, while building, researching and collecting space minerals from and to your mothership, which is also your slowest unit. For the game itself, I installed the GOG version and the version from the physical copy on a Windows 10 gaming PC, and both ran without problems. And both versions have the same version number. But because the game is from the year 2000, it does not have a widescreen option to adapt the game to modern full-screen monitors. I found 2 guides online that explain how you can set up the ratio of the game, but all that did for me was that the game was crashing every 2 to 3 missions during game playing. So if you want to try it, prepare for some crashes. Anyhow, you will need to play around for a while to find an acceptable graphics resolution and ratio in the game settings to set up a look that you can enjoy. But that is not too time intensive. It took me maybe less than 5 minutes to set up the right resolution and screen ratio. Well, the business model of Homeworld Emergence, or Homeworld Cataclysm at this point. Well, this is a short description. As of the time of the release of this video, Homeworld Emergence can only be bought from the GOG.com store and can be either downloaded from the GOG homepage or GOG Galaxy. There are no DLCs, mods available with this release. It's a re-release of a standalone game that is complete and overall a full game. Interface. Well, this is still the same game than, 18 years ago. So this RTS game, like many others in its genre, can only be played effectively with keyboard and mouse. Other interfaces are not supported. Score. Homeworld Cataclysm, even now back in 2000, is in my opinion one of the best, if not the best, 3D space RTS game of all time. If you are a space gamer seeking space RTS action with the arguably best interface in the genre, that technically aged well, but its age and design now in 2018 are holding it back a little, especially for new gamers. So for you it would be probably a 4 out of 5. The ability to move units freely in a 3-dimensional room is still awesome, no matter the technical boundaries at the time this game was made. If you are a story gamer, this game still has a great story with high stakes, drama, losses and wins. If you're good at RTS games, this game rewards you with a complete and satisfying story from beginning to end that takes place during and in between missions with in-game cinematics, with, overall 4 points. If you are a gameplay gamer, searching for a challenging RTS where you can command various units with different stats and uses, Homeworld Cataclysm is a game for you. This game does not take you by the hand and punishes fairly misjudgment of situations with a game over. But if you are an RTS veteran and you can adapt quickly to the 3D aspect of the gameplay, you will maybe find yourself what now can be described as, RTS tropes. But were back then, they weren't. So overall, 3 points out of 5. So here we go with the summary. Well, Homeworld Emergence or Homeworld Cataclysm is an old game. 18 years old. This game's re-release in 2017 was not meant to be a glorious start to, well, reinvigorate interest in the game property itself. It would have gotten an HD remake or remaster like Homeworld 1 and 2 for that, but it didn't. The reason behind this decision is probably that the game's source code is still lost after the original publisher developer bankruptcy, and probably for good. Gearbox stated in 2015 that it would look into making a remake or remaster of Cataclysm if the original source code would be found. I guess this release settles this offer. Gearbox does not even list the release of Emergence on their homepage, unlike Homeworld 1 and 2. It saddens me because I think that Cataclysm was the best RTS in the series, with the best story, interface, and control scheme. It saddens me even more that the 3D RTS genre took a nosedive after Cataclysm's original release in 2000 because of the, well, terms of objective development in the genre. There were no real successors, and who would improve on its game mechanics after the Homeworld franchise ended in the early 2000s. Homeworld Cataclysm is still a good game, but an old one. If you can't look past the non-widescreen resolution and non-HD graphics, Homeworld Cataclysm is not for you. But it is an example of a genre that should have developed itself into a premier RTS game subgenre. With bigger open 3D maps and more nuanced gameplay mechanics. But it did not, because of, relatively poor sales back then. Overall, if you played the game back then, it's still good now, and is a lot of fun. And overall, Homeworld Emergence or Homeworld Cataclysm still stands the test of time. This is your Space Wingman signing out, and thanks for watching.